Hi, I'm RT.
And I'm Tyler.
And this is Custer Wolfe Building a Watch Company.
Today we're going to talk about renovating our new building and what we've been up to for the last 2 weeks.
Our permit got approved.
Finally.
I don't know why I'm so questionable about it. Well, I do, because it's taken, 6 months to get a freaking permit?
Yeah, I mean, we started this project almost a year ago now, and we've been seriously trying to get this permit for at least the last 6 months.
But there's people in the building. There's a man in the ceiling working.
Yep. Currently work is getting done.
Calling this episode Man in the Ceiling. We'll see. There's going to be background noise somewhere from that direction. But yeah, what are they working on right now?
So we are attempting to do a phased move-in plan where we can move some of the machines into this part of the building before we finish the work on the entire building. We are currently scheduled to move in May. So if we can move some of that stuff sooner, we're going to do that. But the major thing that held up our permit was the fire department.
Yep.
And it was mostly our fault, not theirs. We did not do proper code compliance prior to filing for the permit.
Allegedly.
And yeah, that just really sucked. That put us behind by 3 or 4 months.
Yep. It
was a lot of money that we didn't already have in the budget, and you're not going to believe this, the fire department is not willing to compromise.
Yeah. They're like, what if the building's on fire? And we're like, I don't know, what do you want us to do? Build a wall down the center of the building? They're like, actually, yes, that's exactly what we want you to do. And so now we're building a giant firewall down the center of the building, which, I mean, it makes sense. Like, this space that we're sitting in is going to be manufacturing. And then across the firewall is like admin office space, so if there's a fire over here, we want it to be contained over here and vice versa. So it makes sense. It's just not going to make us any dollars.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the logic behind it is sound. It's, as far as the codes go, if you're under 10,000 square foot, which we're at about 8,600 total square feet, you don't have to wet sprinkle. But if you're not going to sprinkle, you need to split the building into 5,000 square feet or less sections separated by a firewall.
Yep.
And the building was compliant for the previous occupancy designation of business.
Yep.
But we are switching some of the areas to factory, and that's what made us need to comply to higher standards of code.
For sure. And we got the man in the ceiling today, and we also got our fence crew apparently behind us, and building a fence between us and the rescue mission that's right next door. And that fence, they're going to use the same fence for like the patio out front, right? Mm-hmm. We're gonna have a nicer patio than some of the bars downtown. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep.
Everybody's invited.
Yeah, we're gonna be grilling some lunches.
Yep.
We talked about it this morning.
Yeah. When it's not snowing and what was it, -2 when we woke up this morning? Terrible.
Yeah, that's what my car told me.
Awful. So what we're doing, once the firewall gets finished, we're gonna start the firewall construction in this room because, like you said, we need to ideally move some machines in here first. So you've been machine hunting.
Yep.
How's that going?
It's pretty good. So we bought, I think I mentioned it last week, but we bought 2 used DMG machines.
Yep.
One 5-axis, a DMU 50, and one Swiss turning center, a Sprint 28 linear. And this is our first time buying used machines.
Right, yeah.
And for what the machines are and the price tag, it is awesome. And once they're set up and running, they are going to be super cool. They're already optioned out. They're proven machines. They're set up. They're ready to go. But we've only bought new Haas machines in the past. And if you've ever bought a Haas machine, they're
plug and play, right?
Pretty simple.
It's like buying a Mac, like it just works.
The first time we did it, there was some unexpected stuff, but the last 3, it's super simple. You order the machine, you schedule delivery, Setup is included. We're familiar with the machines, all of the above. These used machines we bought are from a different company, and we're kind of trying to enter a new tier of machine tool quality. So everything's new, and we've never bought a used machine before. We're now responsible for every single little cost, and there's no warranty for everything. So far, you have to package up the machines for shipping, which we were paying DMG to do, and it's not cheap.
And for reference, these machines are like the size of an F-150.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we're just putting them in a box like this HVAC system right here. Like,
Exactly.
it's a big deal.
Yeah, and we're commissioning an 18-wheeler with a forklift to come in and deliver them and everything. So we had to package these machines up. One was in Chicago. One's about 30 minutes from here.
Yep.
So we had to pay to do that. We had to pay to have the 5-axis shipped from Chicago and then stored in Denver while we're finishing this project. We have to then pay to have them moved up here, and then we have to pay to have them unpacked and installed. Then we have to pay a separate company to set up a bar feeder, and then we got to set up all the air filtration, coolant blaster. There's a lot of work and a lot of cost involved with getting these two machines set up.
But, just for like point of reference for anyone watching, how much were these machines and how much would a new version of them be?
Yeah, so we paid, just for the machine, we paid about $150,000 for both machines. They were actually the same cost.
Each separately, so
Each separately.
300 total, yeah.
Yep, and we took some extra financing on top to help us out with the shipping and some of those other costs that
Tooling and all that, yep.
I just mentioned. But compared to Haas machines, I mean, those machines that we have are between $50,000 and $100,000.
Yep.
And
New.
the new versions of these DMG machines would be about $500,000.
Yeah, yeah, and I think we talked like the Haas machines, are kind of like buying like an F-150, like it's like buying a Ford, right? Like they make them really well, made in USA, like they're, but they're kind of entry level versus a DMG is more like would you call it like a Mercedes instead of a Ford? Like, is it that much of a difference?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, Haas machines are good quality machines, but they're not necessarily tailor-made for watchmaking, what we do.
Yeah. They're great.
and-
I mean, they've worked for us for the last, 4 years, right?
Yeah, we've had some issues here and there, but mostly I'd say they deliver on what was promised. But we're, over the next few years, planning to make the switch from Haas over to DMG Mori for just about everything.
Yeah.
So this will be a fun next year, setting up these two machines and finding out what they can do.
If they work as well as we think they are, if you're listening, DMG, we're here, we're watching, literally. So what work needs to be done besides, so we're building the firewall, doing that. What else needs to happen before we can put these machines here where we're sitting?
Yeah, so the first phase, the phase that we need to complete before any of us are allowed to be here and work, is this firewall, because the firewall makes the fire department happy.
Yep.
And the firewall interferes with the bathrooms. And then
People need bathrooms. Yep.
Yep. The second thing is HVAC over the shop building. We're building a big rack essentially for all the different HVAC that we're adding. We're adding separate HVAC for the clean room, for the studio, and for this shop space. So there's a bunch of equipment that we're putting up there, and building a compressor closet, and then we can move the machines in.
Yeah. So the compressor closet's going behind us, and that's the reason for the compressor closet is just to make the compressors super loud, right? So you just want it kind of insulated, or
it's noise and heat are the two reasons.
Yep.
So we're actually setting up something kind of neat with the compressors. We have two compressors. They create a lot of heat.
Yep.
We're setting it up so we have a valve to turn that exhaust either in the building or out of the building.
Yep.
So in the summer, we'll put the heat outside and it'll stay cool in here. And in the winter, we'll use those compressors to help heat this room.
Yep. Which would be really nice right now.
Yes, it's very cold in here.
It's starting to get cold. And then they said that, so the architect looked at the roof and when he was trying to figure out if we could put all these HVAC systems like up top instead of in the ceiling or something, and was just like, he was just a no on the roof, basically. It was just like, you guys
Yeah, I mean, so we've got kind of two sections of this building. We've got this shop space here that is really just a corrugated steel structure,
metal warehouse,
almost like a fancy pole barn even.
Really.
And the rest of it is more like an A-frame house.
Yep.
So it's got rafters and shingles and all that stuff. And they would have to rip out a lot of that to do the HVAC over there. That was the original plan. And then our general contractor kind of went to a fabricator and had a little concept idea. And we shifted plans halfway through because this new plan is cheaper and better.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's almost a blessing in disguise that like we had so many delays, because I think the project has come a long way in terms of like we've come up with some really creative ways to problem solve, and then theoretically the cost of everything has gone down. Like, you know, drywall 3 months ago was twice what it is today, so it's not coming down as fast as it went up, but hopefully we'll end up saving some money after all this time. Definitely doesn't add up to how much we've spent on the delays, but you know, make the best of it, right? So
yep. At least it's moving. We're making progress. We're doing work. We've been sitting on our hands for 3 or 4 months getting this permit stuff figured out.
Yep.
So it's very exciting to have work being done. Like we said, it's being done currently.
And there's still stuff happening back at the shop. So you told me this week everything's going well, except we ran out of crystals.
Yeah, so you know, inventory is always a constant battle. We use a Kanban system that works pretty well. We're kind of in a transition period with how we're making our products. So we're making some switches to different SKUs for products that we order from suppliers. We ordered everything on time like we normally do, but we heard that the crystal factory told us they're shut down because of COVID.
Yep.
So all of a sudden we had to scramble for a bunch of ideas on how we were going to not stop building watches, because that's basically where we were at last week.
Yep. So we got some temporary crystals on the way, and
something that's cool.
And, you know.
Something that's cool about making our own product is we can change it if we have to. So the way that we're solving this problem is we're going to get some crystals that are different sizes and edit our case to make sure we can use those other crystals, and we should be good.
Yeah.
But it was very stressful.
For sure. Well, and then we're also working on, you show me the newest like version 3 prototype or final product of the Railroad Edition. It's coming back. We haven't made a Railroad Edition in like over a year. And then the 16 size, I mean 95% of our production for the last year and a half has been the 12 size, but we got 16 size back in stock now, so it's coming along.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a tough road, and we've been working on these new products for over a year now, but they're starting to come together and they look really cool.
Yeah. So I think next time, I mean, we can give an update on how the building's going, what the next demo process looks like. I mean, they're going to start tearing out the rest of this wall here pretty soon, so that'd be cool to watch. And then, you know, we can probably bring like, here's an example of 12 size, 16 size, and Railroad Edition, so you know people can see the difference, because on our website it's mostly all 12 size. So that'll be fun to share. So we'll definitely share that with y'all next time.
But yeah, I think that's it for episode 4 of Custer and Wolfe. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and Instagram, and if you want weekly updates, go to our website and sign up for our newsletter.
See you next time.